Hey folks, Laura Tempest Zakroff here with a brand new 6 Minutes of Witchcraft. So, the other day I shared a video on social media from Liminal 11, who is an esoteric occult artsy publisher. They do many beautiful tarot decks, and they were showing one of their decks next to one of the counterfeit, knockoff, bootleg, fake decks, and how you can tell the difference. And in sharing that, there was quite a few responses from folks who were like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Even though this has been going on for a while, I thought, you know what, this is a good time to talk about this a bit more, because not only did that video show up on my feed and a bunch of people were like, oh, I didn't even know. I saw decks at a local event for sale by a vendor that were all fake decks. I had stepped into a shop a little while ago and saw that they had fake decks on their shelves. And yeah, this is bullshit, so let's talk about it. I also saw a little while ago a video of like why you should buy fake decks, and bless your heart. Let's get into this. So I'm going to set the timer so I can keep this somewhat close to 6 minutes. So the quickies about how do you tell if a deck is fake? Well, the big tells are there's a QR code on it. It's a slip cover box when there's generally like you've seen the deck and you're like, it comes in a beautiful magnetic box. Look at this little scaled down smaller version that's not in a nice box. There's no guidebook that comes with it. And the biggest tell is it's stupid cheap. Right? It's cheap. It's like, oh, this deck that normally costs $24.95 is available for $3 on Wish or Temu or wherever online, or just stupid cheap on Etsy or eBay. Okay, unless it's a used deck that somebody's trying to clear out, it's a very good chance that that is a fake deck. And you don't want them, right? They are lesser quality. They often have printing issues. But really the big thing is you're screwing over the artists and the authors and everybody who has worked hard to make those decks possible. And it's not just happening to be like people go, oh, it's just that's from the big publisher. It's fine. Hi. Hi there. You're an everyday witchy artist and author doing this for a living. You might think that Llewellyn is a big publisher, but they're not. I know most of the people who work at Llewellyn. I've been in the building. It's not huge. And the same with US Games, Liminal 11. I'd even go, I know Hay House is seemingly big, but they're still small people and small artists, independent artists. And not only is it the big publishers that are getting knocked off, but independent artists who have had their decks published overseas, or not even. It's just they saw it's popular, and so somebody swiped it and scanned it in. So it's hurting everyone from people who are self-publishing their decks to the bigger publishing companies. We don't see a dime. We don't see any of that. And I want to talk about some of the reasons. That's the biggest one. Don't screw over the people in your community. Don't disrespect the artists and the writers and the designers who have made the thing that you want possible. Like, no one wins in this scenario. Like, but I have a deck. No, you don't want that, because if you really enjoy something from an artist or an author, you want to be able to support them so that they can make more of those things. Your little, oh, I got things in the moment cheap, like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So people are like, oh, but, I'm on a budget. Hi! I understand. Very much understand being on a budget. My decks aren't terribly expensive at $24.95, $25.95, whatever they are. And I know that there are fancy decks out there that go for $60, $70, $80 or even more, right? More boutique decks. It's like, if you want something, first of all, if you're into magic, manifest it. Manifest the proper work. Save up. Like, this is not a life or death thing. Because I was broke as fuck for years. If I wanted something, it's like, all right, what can I do? Can I trade somebody for this? Can I find it used on the marketplace? Do I just save up and this is going to be a special gift? Do I put it on a wish list? Like, there are ways of making it happen without screwing over a large part of your community. What a concept. People are like, oh, I just wanted to check the deck out, and it's a quick and easy way to do it. Like, pretty much every deck that's being published right now or has been done recently, you can go right now on YouTube and find somebody who's doing a flip through, generally of the whole entire deck or most of it, so that you can see what's going on, so you can get a look at that deck. People are like, oh, well, this deck is out of print. So a lot of independent artists who did Kickstarters, they run through 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 decks, right? In order for them to do another printing, there needs to be a demand. So if you're like, I just want a deck and, I just want it, I don't care. That's special. No, you need to say, hey, I'm interested in that. If you do another Kickstarter, if you do something, I would be interested in buying it. And that way you can get a proper version that is nicely printed, that supports the artists, right? Support the creators, right? It's really not that hard. Let's see what the other things on here. It's like, oh, nobody gets harmed. Here's the other thing. If you're supporting the knockoff trade, you are supporting the knockoff trade and not the artist, right? If people who are pirating decks as well as books see there's a demand, they're going to keep it up. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep knocking off more creators because you are supplying the demand for it. So choose where you want your energy to go. Do you want it to go to people who are making the things, who are responsible for the vision behind it and the hard work? Or do you want to give your money to people who don't give a fuck, right? Except they want your money. Right? They're not giving you a quality product. They are not supporting the original artists or creators. So don't. No, there are no good reasons. There are no good reasons to buy a knockoff deck. So people are like, oh, well, I bought one. What do I do with it? Collage. Use them as bookmarks. Share them. Put them on stuff. Give them away. Support the artists who made it. Right? So put it into your budget to, you're out $3 to $10 probably. Decorative scrapbooking, great. But support, if you really want a deck, go get the original. If you can't afford the original, there are plenty of tarot swap groups online. You might be able to find the deck that you're really looking for, even if it's not in your budget or it's hard to find. Or again, many artists do have newsletters where they say, please let me know if you're interested. If there are enough people, I will do this again. So, yeah, it's really not that hard. So again, the quick things that help point out fake deck, and there's plenty of videos I'm sure on YouTube, is none of these things have QR codes on them. They come with booklets. They are properly printed. Unless you get some sort of anomaly, like if you get something from Llewellyn and there's a misprint in there, you can write to the printer, write to Llewellyn, and they'll be like, oh, okay. And they'll sort it out. That's what's going to work with most publishers, is they want you to be happy with the product. And if something weird has happened, because occasionally printing mistakes do happen, but they are rare. They're really rare. Like I saw a review, somebody saying like the cards were all bent. Like, you weren't buying one of these. There is no way that a couple cards are bent unless it's a really strange fluke of a printing thing, and then talk to the publisher about it. Again, they're human beings, especially, Llewellyn, Wiser, US Games. They're not as big as you think. You will get in contact with a human being who will reply to you about it. So that's that. Please support your artists, support your authors. Buy these decks. And also, if you do see decks in the wild that are counterfeit, give a heads up. I know some shops don't realize what they're doing. They're new and actually, I'm not going to give them that much credit. They're seeing it's cheap. People don't know. We can just, sell these decks and nobody will be the wiser. So those are people who aren't caring about their customers or the artists or creators. So don't support them. And you can let them know that. That's what I'm going to say. I am saucy and spicy today. So I hope you're all doing well. I'm working on another deck. It will be out at some point. And in the meantime, it should come in, if you're going to get either of my decks, it should come in a sturdy box with a magnetic closure and a booklet. Alright, and that is true for all authentic decks. Alright, unless somebody has specifically said that there's something special available online, but most decks do not come with a QR code, and they should come in quality boxes, yada yada yada, and they should be the size that they're supposed to be. Okay, enough. Thank you all for listening, and I guess you can tell me your thoughts in the comments, maybe. Bye.